Again, in San Francisco, Chopper 5 live overhead, where about 1,000 protesters are marching through the streets for a second day in a row. Right now, there appear to be multiple groups moving in a number of directions, some at Justin Herman Plaza, others marching near downtown.
Now, this all started at Civic Center Plaza, then some marchers headed down Market Street. Others went to the Hall of Justice, where they were met by a wall of officers. Police also blocked attempts to get on the freeway entrances, and at least one BART station, Powell, is closed. All of this as a citywide curfew is set to take effect 2 hours from now. Joe Vasquez has been following the protest all afternoon, and he joins us now live from south of Market. Joe.
Juliet, you can see right behind me here, these are the front steps of the Hall of Justice here on Bryant and 7th. Those police officers formed a wall earlier and, in fact, encountered one splinter of the larger group of demonstrators who now have been walking back and forth through San Francisco streets for about 3 hours now. They started at City Hall. They went through south of Market, where they continue to march right now as we speak. So one splinter of that protest stood right in front of police officers. They started chanting. They're protesting the death of George Floyd, of course. Demonstrators say they feel like this is the moment to make a statement.
White supremacy is something that affects everyone, all people of color, everyone in this country. And like all the signs say, there is no peace without justice.
Black lives matter! Black lives matter!
Yeah, I just think it's really mean because in school we've been learning about the civil rights movement, and everyone says that we've moved past that and we've become better, but clearly we haven't, because the police just killed this guy, and he was literally saying he couldn't breathe, but they just kept not making him able to breathe, and eventually he died.
Police turned away that larger group earlier this afternoon, a larger one than we saw in that small splinter. You know, this used to be police headquarters, but it has since moved away a few years ago. It still houses courtrooms, and so this is still a valuable asset and protected pretty strongly by police right now. That big crowd that we've been telling you about continues to wend its way through the south of Market area. They started at City Hall. They made it all the way to the Embarcadero. They came here. One group did. Another drew some graffiti on the Salesforce Tower. But essentially, it's the case that the protests will not be legally allowed to go on for very much longer. As mentioned, Mayor London Breed has called a curfew to begin in San Francisco at 8 p.m. until 5 a.m. That's a citywide curfew. She told a news conference today, along with the police chief, Bill Scott, both of whom, by the way, are African American, that they share the sentiments of the demonstrators, but not the looters.
We know that people are frustrated, they're hurt, they're upset, they're angry, all kinds of emotions. I know that not only am I feeling these emotions, but we also know that there are a number of people who work within law enforcement that feel the same way too. And as a city, we will do better. As a country, we have to do better.
Mayor Breed says she applauds protesters for speaking out and demanding change. She makes it clear she is encouraging peaceful demonstrations, but she is angered by the attitude of those intent on theft and destruction.
I was extremely upset because, unfortunately, with some of the vandals, they thought this was a game. They thought this was funny, and this is not funny. To damage property, to set fires that could lead to someone else's death, to do the kinds of things that destroy and tear down our city. This is not who we are. So for those of you who are thinking about coming to San Francisco to cause havoc, we're going to be ready, and we're going to do what we need to do in order to protect the city. We, again, welcome peaceful protest, but we will not tolerate violence and crime. We can't just sit by and let you destroy our city.
It was a challenging night. We didn't have anybody hurt or killed by fires, even though people in that crowd were launching Molotov cocktails at individuals and at officers and at police cars. Nobody was hurt.
Still, Police Chief Bill Scott says state of emergency officials will be sending about 200 additional officers into the city tonight to help keep order. The chief got emotional as he asked people to follow the curfew He remembered another demonstration that got violent, the Rodney King riots, back when the chief was a young cop.
In 1992, when I was with the Los Angeles Police Department, I had 2.5 years as a police officer. I was at work on April 29th, 1992. "64 people died that night. 64 people. Think about that. Stay at home."
The chief getting choked up with emotion there, and you can understand there are a lot of people in pain right now. They're feeling anger. The riots that you're seeing, the looting that you're seeing are a manifestation of that. It's very hard for people to wrap their minds around why somebody would go into a store and take things out at a moment when people are trying to, they're trying to demonstrate about what they perceive as an injustice in this country. And so there's a lot going on. You heard the mayor and the police chief make it very clear, though, they want people to obey this 8 o'clock stay-at-home order, this curfew. We will see whether people do, and we will be on the streets. We'll bring you the latest as it develops. Reporting live, Joe Vasquez, KPIX 5.
All righty, Joe, thank you.